The 2025-26 NBA season is shaping up to be a wild one. Out west, it's a straight-up arms race, with stars everywhere and contenders loaded for a deep playoff push. But in the East, well, let's just say there's a lot more uncertainty. Injuries, rosters in transition, and teams still figuring out if they're really built for June basketball. So yeah, the East might still be the NBA's JV conference, but that doesn't mean it's boring. In fact, I've got 5 major questions that will decide everything. Who rises, who falls, and which squad might just shock the world. Let's start at the very top of the conference with who's the favorite? With Boston and Indiana in gap years due to their dudes being out with Achilles injuries, who is stepping up to lead the conference? The on paper and in Vegas favorites right now are the Cleveland Cavaliers and the New York Knicks. Both are experienced, have star power, and well equipped to get a shot at the Larry O'Brien trophy, but both also have red flags. Something always happens to the Cavs, whether it's injuries, bad matchups, ill-timed shooting slumps, you name it, this team has dealt with it all. Is this the year all that stuff magically goes away, or at least enough to make a run? This team is deep, plays really good defense, and has a clear identity, but the one thing they lack is a dude. I like Donovan Mitchell a lot, but I don't know if I love him enough to lead my team to the finals. He is only 28, so not a finished product. I just don't ever see him cracking that dude level. Now, could Evan Mobley do it? Is this the year he takes that giant leap to being the man? Now, if Mobley is the dude for the Cavs, making Mitchell the second option, I like this team a lot more. I just don't love teams depending on smallish guards to carry the load. Now, cue up my hypocrisy. Jalen Brunson is the dude for the Knicks. I know, right? How can I say this after all I just said about Donovan Mitchell? Well, I think Brunson brings a little more to the table than Mitchell does. I still don't love it, but I like it a lot more than the Cavs and Mitchell. The issue for the Knicks is they asked too much of Brunson last season. I want to see how bringing in Mike Brown is going to help the Knicks offense evolve. Bridges, OG, and Cat can carry more of the load, hopefully saving Jalen Captain Clutch Brunson for the playoffs. Now they can carry it, but will Brunson and Brown give them the space to create more? That is the NBA Finals level question. Of course, maybe none of that matters if one guy just decides to break basketball. We've seen it before. 2011 Dirk Nowitzki proved one superstar can drag a team all the way to the mountaintop, which brings me to Giannis. Can Giannis pull a 2011 Dirk? In 2011, Dirk did the impossible. He led the Mavs on the greatest finals run of all time, beating 10 Hall of Famers along the way. Don't believe me? Well, check out the video I made about it. My biggest question is, can Giannis recreate this run? Dirk did it without a second star. Giannis has no co-star. Dirk was coming off some bad luck and bad showings. You know, like the last 2 early playoff exits that the Bucks had. The cards were all stacked against Dirk, and same for the Greek Freak. If you have a dude in this NBA, you always have a chance, especially when that dude can control as much of the game as Giannis can. This Bucks offseason was far from perfect, but they did make the team better. Miles Turner is like the younger Brook Lopez from the 2021 title team. Adding Cole Anthony is a move I sneaky like, and 2 teams just dumped him for nothing. He is going to be motivated to prove them wrong. Now, is this a perfect team? It's far from it. But Giannis has proven he can carry a team to the finals, and like 2011 Dirk, he can cover up a lot of their mistakes. If the role players do their jobs and 1 or 2 of them take some steps forward, watch out for this team in the playoffs. But even if Giannis does go full 2011 Dirk, there's a hungry pack of teams ready to crash the party. 3 in particular that come to mind. They're young, dangerous, and all in for their turn. Which of these 3 between the Pistons, Magic, and Hawks will join the 2 favorites at the top? So if the Cavs and Knicks have the top 2 spots held down, who is coming for them? For me, the Hawks, Magic, and Pistons are the next 3 trying to take them down. All 3 of these teams are young, deep, and ready for a statement season. Each of them went about this offseason in a different way to get here. The Hawks attacked the offseason head-on, making smart, win-now moves without sacrificing their future. The Magic did one big move to shore up a glaring weakness and better equip their young Big 3 for this season and the long haul. And the Pistons? They stayed patient, retooling on the fringes and counting on the internal development to carry them forward. These three are here battling for home court advantage and ready to pounce if the top two falter at all. They can score, have legit all-stars, and can play some really good defense. Do not take these teams lightly. Last year was the end of moral victories and feel-good stories. These three are coming for blood this season. And then there's Philly, a team that refuses to be put in a box. Are they a contender, a rebuilder, a little bit of both? The Sixers are the East's biggest mystery, and that's saying something. So, which way is Philly going? This is the most confusing team in the whole East for me. If everything goes right, they're a top 2 to 3 team. But if it doesn't go that way, they will be in the same place as last season, praying the draft lottery gods will be in their favor. The worst part for me is I don't know which way the front office wants to go. I think the three-headed monster of Tyrese Maxey, Jared McCain, and VJ Edgecombe is going to be nasty. They're great athletes, hard workers, and dogs, but the latter two are not quite that right now. But also on this team are two older, injury-prone players who you can't count to be on the court at all. There is a 0% chance Joel Embiid will ever play 65-plus games a season ever again.
It's been their bench, second chance points, and fast break points that has created this margin for the Knicks. Oh! Joel Embiid!
So can you count on him to play 4 straight playoff rounds either? And Paul George looked like he aged 3 years last season. Was that a sign of who he is now, or just a lost season, an anomaly? If you get the best Embiid possible and 2 seasons ago Paul George, this team is awesome. But are you willing to put any money on that? I know I'm not. And speaking of mystery, no player in the East confuses me more than LaMelo Ball.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
The ceiling is high, the talent is there, but is the maturity going to follow? So is LaMelo Ball going to mature and take the next step? To start, I have never been a LaMelo Ball fan. I can see what others see. He is huge, a top 0.01% passer, super unselfish, and fun to watch. But what I see is an immature player. He can only play one hectic way, is a defensive liability, and flat out is not a winning player. I know that sounds harsh, but it's just me giving my honest thoughts. I seriously hope I am wrong about him, full stop. The idea of what he could be is amazing, especially pairing him with 2 players I really like in Brandon Miller and Con Kneppel. Those 3 together could be something special in Charlotte. Or it could all be for nothing if LaMelo doesn't evolve. LaMelo is the pivot point for this franchise. If he turns the corner, starts looking more like what others believe him to be, I think adding a big man next season will push this team into the playoffs. But if he continues down the path that I'm seeing and has another empty calories type season, they will trade him and build around Miller and Kneppel. The East is a weird place right now. 2 best teams completely in a holding pattern, some legit title threats, some chaotic wildcards, and a handful of up-in-the-air teams that could flip the whole conference. We may not know who's taking the crown, but one thing is certain, this conference is going to keep us guessing all year long, and sometimes that unpredictability is the best part. Are you curious about my thoughts on how each Eastern Conference team did in the offseason and how I sum them up with either one word or phrase? Well, check out my offseason breakdown here. And if you like this video, make sure to click that like button, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell. That way you're always up to date with every upload, and it gets us out to all the other NBA fans just like you who want to see content like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.